Yes, please. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the right here on the flashlight or this end, here's also has some scrapes and indentations into the molding.
Okay.
Just draw an arrow right here. Just draw a little bit better.
I believe when we left off, weren't we on page, at the top of page 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to find where that is.
Okay. All right.
Same to the flashlight there.
Yeah, so the right here on the flashlight or
Looks like, again, the final rest is good. It looks like we're toward the bottom of page 19.
Right, but we did not hear anything from 18 to 19, correct?
We're going to be finishing up with this.
Okay, and then go back. Is there any objection to that? It's going to be out of order?
Now,
Okay.
we'll just go ahead.
this end, here's also has some scrapes and indentations.
Yes, sir.
Perhaps we could have Sergeant Hine at least give us a little intro to what this is about and what's going on. We're going to cover that.
Okay. All right. And just so everybody sees where this has picked up, is it on page 19, line 25? Is that correct, Mr. Pietmeyer?
Yes.
Okay.
Into the molding.
Okay.
Just draw an arrow right here. And just draw a little bit better.
Okay, we're right here.
Another error in that section. And the other two areas?
Yes.
Are they good?
And residents. We got these for center as well.
How fast do you think you were traveling with momentum when you were going to the ground? Your body travel?
I'm just guessing the maybe 15 miles an hour. I'm sorry, I don't know my running forward.
Really, council will stop me at that point because the rest of it is really not substantive.
Okay. Are we going to go back and cover what was not?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Matthews, with regards to the remainder of the tape, is there any objection to not playing the remainder that Mr. Pietmeyer has characterized as not substantive?
I'm in agreement with that.
You are in agreement, great.
Testify to you of it. I'm over here and use the overhead. During the second part of this interview, including the couple pages that are missing right now, basically you're going through with the defendant, you've got his uniform, all the parts of his uniform, and you're having him identify what may be new damage and what may be old damage. Is that correct? Photos of your footage. Prior to that, I know at one point on the earlier part of the interview, you were showing him a photograph and asking him where his hand was with relationship to the steering wheel when he was trying to turn off the key. I can show you what's been marked States Exhibit 9I. Can you identify that?
It's a photograph that's taken from the video, well shot, and it's a photograph that is made off the fencing to identify where his hand, or to recall his hand on the car.
And where did he indicate on that photograph?
At the top, on the steering wheel, is the initials for the remains on the dashboard.
And it was the half-human area there, that's where he indicated his hand went on.
Yes.
Also, I'd like to share with you what identification purposes States Exhibits 9C, 39H, can you identify those?
These are the photographs that we took off the fencing, that were photographs taken by a criminalist of the uniform parts.
And was he indicating to you what was new damage and what was damage that was already on the uniform prior to this? Okay, could you go through those and tell us what damage was noted, what he told you was new, and what was old?
You guys see, well, with the name on the officer. This is his uniform pants. This is a picture where the criminal put a measuring instrument board in there. There's a lighter gray mark on the top of the pant line below the belt. Opportunity indicated that mark itself is new. And then there's areas of stitching that were undone. He marked in there also in areas that were new.
And that's photographed
That's photograph 9C.
just before your father has these photographs be admitted to evidence.
Any objection, Mr. Matthews?
No, Your Honor.
They'll be admitted and published.
What is the next exhibit? What?
The next one is 9B. This is best carrier.
What is the best carrier?
The officers for University of Cincinnati where they're bulletproof vest and carrier outside of their uniform shirt. Or if you were underneath. Now, this is another photograph taken where there's an instrument, measuring instrument in there, and then there's a line of what appears to be dirt on the backside of his vest cover. And he indicated that was authentic. The next one is 9E. This is a photograph of the equipment, his duty belt. They wear a leather belt compared to a nylon. The nylon case next to his handcuff case is nylon versus the handcuff case is leather. On this one, Officer Kennedy indicated that the two marks, a larger one right here, and then a smaller one in the grain of the leather, and then there's one down in the curvature of the handcuff case, which is also in the image. Right along with that, I in the same areas, exhibit 9 each. Here's another handcuff tape on the opposite side of the nylon glove pouch. Officer Kennedy indicated that that damage to the gun belt, this is old damage, not new. This is what we hold the flashlight in, flashlight carrier. There's some damage to that also, the old. However, he did indicate that the straight pieces of the paint off of each button of the glove pouch is new damage. Photograph is 9F. This is a photograph of the holster, the plastic type material for the holster that was used. And he indicated that the invention into the molding were new damage. Okay, exhibit 9G. This is the best carrier flip-up version of the measuring tool in there, and then that stuff. Market dirt, stuff like that we saw earlier in another photograph, which is enhanced, and you can see where we indicated that was new damage. And then you can see along the sides where the arm cut out, there's some dirt there, used dirt, that's new. And then the stitching along going down that cover indicated new damage.
And you also have photographs of the police that you showed.
I did.
And if I can share with the more states that it 8L, can you identify that?
This photograph of the boots worn by Officer Kennedy.
Ask if this be admitted 8L.
Any objection to 8L?
Yes.
Very good, it'll be admitted and published.
Did you notice any damage to the boots in that photograph?
We did. In processing the uniform, we advised that the boots were torn, primarily in the top part of the left boot. Officer Kennedy, when they acted that new damage, and he indicated, excuse me, that was full damage. He did not do that.
Officer Hine, in the interview, in addition to yourself and Officer Kensing, there were 2 other people, is that correct, President?
Excuse me, yes, sir. His attorney, Nero, for
He
the,
was sitting, we were looking at his back on the video.
yes,
And who was your partner right then?
Detective Terry McGuffey,
He was the other individual asking questions.
yes.
Just one other question. At the beginning of your interview, you made a statement, I believe, sorry about the circumstances, it's just a formality. That's kind of how you opened up your interview with Officer Benson? Is that correct?
I did.
And what did you mean by that?
Nobody wants to be in that situation, but it's a formal investigation. It's a process, another step in the investigative process that we have to do. So it's a formality to gather his statement or attempt to gather a statement from
Just
him.
like you got the other UC officer's statement.
Yes.
No other questions of this witness, Your Honor?
Very good, Cross?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Detective Hine, did you recover the video camera that recorded the video of the incident?
I did not.
Do you know who did?
Sergeant Michelle Winslow, she is in charge of our criminalistics unit.
Okay, and that was recovered from Ray Tenzing at University Hospital, to your knowledge?
Yes, it was recovered. She handled the video as far as recovering it to get it downloaded from the UC Police Department.
Okay. When you started out answering Mr. Pietmeyer's questions, he asked you, or he alluded to the fact that this statement that we've just watched was taken 20 or 48 hours after the incident, on July 21st is when you interviewed Ray, is that correct?
Yes, it wasn't exactly 48 hours, though.
But you indicated that, well, I guess it was a little bit less than 48 hours, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated that that was because of a union contract?
I was advised that it was part of their union policy that they got time before giving a statement.
And do you understand that, or is it your understanding that police officers who are directly involved in officer-involved shootings, studies have found that it's good to give them 48 hours to decompress so that they can report accurately, or as accurately as they can remember what occurred?
Yes.
Now, you told Ray that the meeting was just a formality, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you told him you were not going to advise him of his Miranda rights, correct?
Correct.
Would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the Miranda rights are?
Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent, so you can invoke your Fifth Amendment right to not give a statement of involvement or to implicate yourself. And you have the right to have an attorney present with you if you decide to give a statement or not give a statement.
Excuse me, I need you to put the microphone down and speak up, please.
If Ray Tenzing voluntarily appeared at your office and gave you a statement, is that correct?
He did.
And he answered every question that you put to him?
He did.
And were his answers consistent with everything that you had uncovered up to that point in your investigation?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever have any doubt about his veracity?
No.
Did you ever catch him being less than truthful with him?
No.
Okay. And we just saw you went through his equipment and asked him whether damage was new or pre-existed the incident on July 19th, correct?
Correct.
And he didn't say every bit of damage that you pointed out was brand new damage that occurred on as a result of this incident. Is that correct?
That's correct. He did not.
You indicated, or as we saw in the video of the incident itself, body camera video, there was an African-American male walking up the right side of the street right about the time that this happened. You remember seeing that?
Yes.
And there was also an automobile that drove southbound or northbound on Rice Street, apparently right as it was happening, as Ray Tenzing was on the ground. Did you see that?
Yes.
And you indicated that efforts were made to identify the individual who was walking, and efforts were made to find the car. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What kind of efforts were made?
We work in teams, so part of our team and the personal crimes officers went door to door in an effort to locate witnesses and identify the people that were walking past the gentleman himself, and then to identify, to see if the owner of the car came forward.
And did anybody go back to the neighborhood after July 19th in an attempt to locate those people?
I did not.
Did you know whether any of your fellow officers did?
Not that I was made aware of.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. On the 23rd or 24th, we did go back to obtain video from the home on Rice Street.
Yeah, that video from the home on Rice Street was in fact owned by Cincinnati police officers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that camera that was recording video there was pointed in the opposite direction from where the incident occurred?
Rice Street is on an incline.
Yes.
So the part where the camera did capture was just outside the home from where it was being recorded, so you couldn't see down the street where the incident occurred. No.
And where was that home with reference to where the incident occurred?
3 buildings past Valencia on Rice Street. So I would say south of Valencia on the left side, east side of the street.
so it would have been, to capture the incident, it would have had to look up over the hill, is that correct?
Yes,
Now, Alicia Napier was found to be the individual who was occupying the car that was parked in front of DeBose's car at the time this occurred?
yes,
And she was not on the scene when investigators arrived, is that correct?
that's correct.
And how did you find her?
The canvass that was done had indicated that the daughter-in-law or the girlfriend of the resident's son had seen the incident.
She didn't come to you, you went to her, is that right?
That's correct.
And the statement that, did you interview her?
I did.
And the statement that she provided you was different from the statements provided by Officers Kidd, Linden, Schmidt, and Tenzing, is that correct?
Yes,
There was a search warrant executed on Sam DeBose's vehicle. I believe 2 search warrants, actually, that you applied for, correct?
that's correct.
Were you present when those were executed?
No, I was not.
And do you have personal knowledge of what was found and where it might have been found in that vehicle?
Yes, I think.
Is it correct that there was marijuana located within the car?
Yes, there was.
And there were 4 cell phones in the car?
I'm unsure of the count of the cell phones.
There were multiple cell phones?
Yes,
And did you determine who that belonged to in your investigation?
and Ms. Reed advised us that the marijuana was not hers. So, for sure, we had no idea for sure who it belonged to, but it was in the custody and possession of Sam DeBose.
Okay. To your knowledge, have there been any forensic examinations of the cell phones done?
No, sir.
Okay, I believe also when you executed the search warrant, or when it was executed, there were many different medications found, correct?
That's correct.
Prescription and non-prescription?
Yes.
Were any of those tested?
I believe the lab tested a few of the substances to determine what they were.
Okay, and were any of them found to be controlled substances?
The marijuana, yes.
But how about the pills or whatever else?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. During your police career, you've had firearms training, is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Have you ever been taught to shoot to kill or shoot to wound anybody?
No, sir.
What are you taught?
To stop the threat.
Thank you. Have you ever been drugged before? Or have you ever reached into a car, let me ask you that, during your career?
Yes.
And have you ever been drugged?
I would like to say I ran along with the vehicle, but define dragging.
Well, were you voluntarily moving with the vehicle?
I'd also like to say I was involuntarily moving along with the vehicle.
Thank you. Now, on page 17 of the transcript of the interview with Ray Tenzing, he indicated to you that he tried to reach through the steering wheel or near the steering wheel. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Very good. Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. You may step down, Sergeant. Thank you. Obviously, you are permitted to remain in the room. State, call your next witness.
Grant Fredericks. He's got his own laptop, Judge, which he was going to use for his testimony,
Very good. Is it like a break few minutes or just a stand and stretch?
Stand and stretch the top.
Okay, great. If you'd like to stand and stretch for a moment or two, you may. I'm assuming everybody is still comfortable since we just had a break. Great. Very good. All right. Everybody be seated, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take about a 10-minute break. Remember the admonitions among yourselves. Do not allow anyone to discuss it with you. Do not form or express an opinion on this case until it is finally submitted to you. All rise for the jury.